Mazda's two-row midsize SUV heads toward 2027 with electrification across the range and a reputation for looking and driving better than most of its rivals. Whether that adds up to a car worth your money comes down to a handful of specific trade-offs. Here are 5 of each. The CX-70 hybrid pairs a 2.5-liter four-cylinder with a 17.8 kilowatt-hour battery, and the EPA rates it at roughly 30 to 32 miles of electric-only driving before the system reverts to conventional hybrid operation. That is enough to cover a typical American commute twice over, which is the whole point of a plug-in. Most owners who charge overnight will burn very little gasoline Monday through Friday and still have a full-size tank for the weekend. What separates it from some rivals is that nothing feels compromised to make room for the battery. The driver still gets a rear-biased eye-active all-wheel drive system as standard, an 8-speed automatic rather than a droning CVT, and the same MyDrive selector with sport and off-road settings as the gas models. This is not a science project. It is a Mazda SUV that happens to plug in. At 323 horsepower, the plug-in is the second quickest way into a CX-70, with published 0 to 60 times in the low to mid 6-second range. That is quick enough to make the electrified version feel like an upgrade rather than a penance. And the instant torque from the electric motor covers the exact low-speed situations, pulling into traffic, merging up a ramp, where four-cylinder SUVs usually feel weakest. Buyers who want the mild hybrid route are not shortchanged either. The eSkyActiv G 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-6 with M-Hybrid boost makes 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet on regular fuel, and the Turbo S variant pushes torque to 369 pound-feet on premium. 3 genuinely distinct powertrains in one nameplate is rare at this price, and all of them are smoother than the segment's 4-cylinder norm. The plug-in CX-70 launched expensively and did not sell well because of it. For 2026, Mazda cut the price by more than $10,000, renaming the Premium and Premium Plus trims SE and SE Plus, and bringing the entry point down to roughly $45,780 with destination, against nearly $56,000 the year before. Mazda applied a modest mid-year increase of a few $100s in May, but the fundamental repositioning held. That matters more than any single feature. A plug-in hybrid midsize SUV with standard all-wheel drive, 300-plus horsepower, and a near-luxury cabin in the mid-40s is a genuinely competitive proposition, whereas the same car in the mid-50s was not. If the 2027 car carries that structure forward, it enters the model year from a far stronger position than it started life in. The CX-70 is essentially a CX-90 with the third row deleted, and Mazda did not fill the void with plastic. The result is more cargo volume than the average two-row midsize SUV offers in a vehicle measuring about 201.6 inches long on a long platform architecture originally engineered to seat 8. For couples, small families, dog owners, and anyone who regularly hauls gear rather than people, that is a structural advantage no amount of clever seat folding can replicate in a smaller crossover. Towing is credible too. Properly equipped, the CX-70 is rated to pull up to 5,000 pounds, and the genuine Mazda hitch unlocks a 360-degree camera with trailer hitch view plus a towing mode. Mazda's interiors have been the brand's quiet advantage for a decade, and the CX-70 is the fullest expression of it. Napa leather on upper trims, a 12.3-inch center display, wireless charging, available head-up display, and a material quality that reviewers routinely compare to entry-level luxury brands. The SE Plus adds leather, heated and ventilated front seats, and rear sunshades for a small step up in price. The safety credentials are equally solid. Both the CX-70 and CX-70 plug-in hybrid earned an Insurance Institute for Highway Safety Top Safety Pick Plus award and a 5-star overall rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, with the eye-Active Sense suite blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and radar cruise control with stop and go standard across the range. There is no single CX-70 hybrid. There is a mild hybrid, which cannot drive on electricity at all and simply reduces engine load. And there is a plug-in hybrid, which is a fundamentally different machine with a different engine, a different price, and a charging cord. Shoppers who ask a salesperson for the hybrid can walk out with either. Worse, the one thing many buyers actually want, a conventional, plugless full hybrid that needs no charging and delivers 38+ mpg, does not exist in this nameplate. Mazda sells exactly that powertrain in the smaller CX-50, and demand for it in North America has been strong. Its absence from the CX-70 is the lineup's most conspicuous hole. 30-odd miles of electric range is respectable, not class-leading. Several rivals now offer 38 to 45. And when the charge runs out, the CX-70 plug-in hybrid returns roughly 26 miles per gallon combined, a figure a non-hybrid 4-cylinder crossover can match. The mild hybrid inline-6 is thirstier still at about 25 miles per gallon combined. The implication is uncomfortable for anyone without a driveway. If you cannot charge at home, this car's central advantage evaporates, and you are left paying a plug-in premium to drive a heavy SUV on gasoline at ordinary economy. The plug-in tips the scales around 5,198 pounds. That mass is the tax for the battery and all-wheel drive hardware, and it shows up everywhere. In tire and brake wear, in the effort required to change direction quickly, and in the gap between Mazda's sporting marketing language and what the car does on a back road. It handles well for its weight, and that qualifier is always present. Weight also caps the electric motor's real-world benefit. Moving 2.5 tons on battery power alone is expensive in kilowatt hours, which is part of why the EV range sits where it does. The plug-in comes in just 2 trims, SC and SC+, so there is little room to configure a car around a specific budget. The tow hitch is an accessory rather than factory equipment. Charging is level 2 at best, taking a couple of hours, with no DC fast charging capability. Then there is the internal competition. For money in the same neighborhood, the CX-90 offers a 3rd row and up to 8 seats on the same platform. The CX-70's pitch is cargo space instead of seats, a trade some shoppers will make happily and others will find hard to justify at the price.